I'm Donna Carpenter, co-founder and CEO of Burton Snowboards. Oh, family. January of '82. You know, I met Jake at a bar on New Year's Eve, and we went out on a date a couple days later, and he seemed like he was getting a little bored. I think he was tired, he was working a lot. And he seemed kind of bored at dinner, and I said, well, why don't we go do this thing that you make? It was a disaster. It was really fun, but it was, it was a backhill board, so it had no edges. It had the rope on the end, it had 2 straps, we wore high-top sneakers. And I remember we drove up by this ski area at night, and the first thing that happened is I fell and the board went flying into the woods. And he ran back up and he said, okay, take my board, let it go where you were, and I'll see where it lands. And it landed right next to his. I was like, this guy, oh wow, he's cool. But yeah, so we would do it late at night because obviously we weren't allowed at ski areas. And I figured out pretty early on that, the snow cats that they groom the mountains with? Yeah, I would bring the drivers sweets, cookies and chocolates and things that I had made, and they would give us rides up and down all night. I just had the pleasure and honor of creating a snowboard with Kelly Clark in honor of her retirement. It's called the Rise. And it literally is the best all-around snowboard I've ever ridden. It's, it's got camber on the back foot, so it's incredible at the resorts, but it's shaped like our old Barracuda board, is what the shape was taken off of, so it's incredible for powder. Kelly, after she retired, really wanted to develop something that she could ride in any condition, and it's the most amazing snowboard, and the art is beautiful. It means a lot to her. It's falcons that are the fastest animals in the world, but also extremely graceful and beautiful. So that was a lot. And it's also the most sustainable board we've ever made. So to be able to work with Kelly Clark, like on our perfect snowboard, was like a dream come true. Yeah, I think listening to the rider is the most important lesson that we ever learned. And it was Craig Kelly who taught us that. And we realized in the beginning of snowboard, there were really 2 companies. There was Sims and Burton. And Burton was more East Coast, so we were more kind of ski racing background. And Sims came from a more skateboard background, surf background. And they saw what was happening with the half pipe and freestyle before we did. We didn't really see it. This is in the mid-'80s. And that's when we realized, hey, we should be listening to the riders. They know what's happening. They're the ones who are using the product 100 days. So that's become like the foundation of our company. And we named our R&D facility after Craig Kelly because he really taught. He said, I want to ride for you, but you have to listen to me. And he was also an engineer. But yeah, so the team plays a huge part, not just in marketing, but also in product development. What's interesting for me is I never saw myself in this role. I never aspired to be in this role. We've had outside CEOs before, but I think at every step of my career, it was Jake who said, you should do that. I started my career in Europe, and when I went back, he said, you should become chief financial officer. And I said, I can't do that. He said, you could do that. And even becoming CEO, he asked me to do it years before. I said yes. So I've been very lucky to have a cheerleader in Jake. And I think I like being CEO now. I've figured out. And one of the main things I'm trying to do, that I'm trying to change, is to pull the curtain back on Burton. You know, we talk a lot about our product and our quality. We have the best product and we have the best quality, but we haven't been telling people the bad, you know, kind of the great stories about our women's leadership, about our sustainability, about our nonprofit chill, about everything we do to support the sport, from Learn to Ride programs to the US Open to sponsoring athletes. I mean, a lot like what Blue Tomato does. That's why we feel a very special relationship with you guys. So as CEO, I'm really trying to get us to tell our stories more and to talk about our values more and what we stand for and why we're so passionate about what we do. I have a lot of advice. What would be my one piece of advice? I mean, I think that it's important for women to have a voice in the sport that they love. I think snowboarding is a better sport because the women were pioneers of the sport. And what happened as it grew, we kind of took surfers and skateboarders, which was very male dominated. So I would just encourage women to follow what they love as much as men do. Yeah, so sustainability for us is there are really two sides to it, right? One is the toxic chemicals and making sure that we're limiting the toxic chemicals in our product and in our production. And we are leading the industry there. We use a standard, everybody in the industry uses a standard called Blue Sign, and that's the highest restricted chemical list in the world. And everything hitting the fall, our fall winter collection coming up is 91% Blue Sign certified. So we are this close, and we have a solid plan to get to 100%. Then the second piece is human rights, and human rights in your supply chain. And we've now gone to the highest standards that there are, the Fair Labor Association. And that really ensures safe conditions, ethical treatment, fair labor practices in every single factory that we use. I snowboard to clear my mind. I always say that snowboarding is a spiritual experience, and it is like being in the moment and being connected. And I have such a different day if I can get out even for one run in the morning, 2 runs, or a hike up the mountain or something. It really makes a difference. And on the off season, it's still in the mountains. I clear my head by hiking. Backcountry. You know, the first time I did backcountry snowboarding, I was like, oh my God, I want more, give me more. It's the best feeling ever. So if I had to pick a day, it would be powder.